When we are away from our loved ones, when we are away from those that have significance, that love us, we miss them. That's another type of hurt feelings. But it's not offensive to us, like being mocked or name called, but it is a hurt inside. It's not a guarantee that we're all going to deal with that very well. We're just looking at factors that affect us. And we're kind of making a small thing out of it as though, well, that's not such a big deal. Everything that hurts us is a big deal. So we don't want to say no big deal, let it go, just get over and drop it. Those are sayings that we say to people that are about us. If your struggles aren't convenient for me, I'm going to use phrases such as that, drop it, get over it, let it go, it doesn't matter, no big deal. Because that's about my convenience, but does that help anyone with their feelings? No. I'll do it again. Does that help anybody with their feelings? No. What would be better to say to someone when their feelings are hurt? I'm sorry you're hurting. We want to demonstrate some level of care. So I'm going to have you all demonstrate a level of care to me. You don't have to say one word. I'm going to have you shift your body posture. I want you just to let your arms hang straight down. Let your arms hang straight down. Okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to make a sound. You're going to go like this. Oh. Ready? Oh. Good. Good job. Now you know what you're going to do? You're going to do this. Watch what I do. Ready? Freeze. Freeze. What do you think we call this? What did I do? What's the verb? Not quite about. Bending, listening, leaning, inclined. Okay, now stand up. Do you know what we're doing? We went ahead and we moved toward the person. Care moves toward someone. I want to show you what God did with care. So over here, how did he demonstrate care over here with Mary and Joseph? What did he do? He looked at them and he said, I see someone that would be a servant to me. So he brought them together to bring whom to us? Bring Jesus. So even when we look at the bent head of Christ and the arms outstretched, those are meaning of care to us. The message of Jesus in his resurrection, he said, and lo. Now that's not talking about when lo is too low. L-O. He said, hey, listen. I'm going to be with you always. There isn't a person alive that can say that to me. But Jesus can say that and has said that to every one of you. Recognize that. I will be with you always. Depression says, well, I'm alone. Depression says, nobody cares. Impulsivity in the brain says, nothing matters. I might as well be gone. I wonder if anybody would even care if I was gone. That's impulsivity of the brain reacting to the depressive thoughts. Should we listen to those thoughts? We should not, for sure. We also should not follow those thoughts. But what if we get stuck in those thoughts? We might act it out. That's not what we're aiming for, but we might act it out. Someone might act it out. Let's put it that way. Someone might act it out. Let's talk about some of the things I have. Where's the music stand right here? Can you grab my notes for me right there? You ready to move with me again? We're going to the crucifix. Come with me to the crucifix. I'll tell you why I want to move to the crucifix. I'll tell you why I want to move around the sanctuary. The word sanctuary means a safe home. It's a safe home for us. And when we're in the midst of anxiety or depression or forbidden suicidal thoughts, we don't feel safe inside. I want us to learn. I have a passion, I have a crave inside to help teach people how to utilize the safety of their sanctuary. and we missed the boat so far, not to anyone's fault. Let's just learn further. So here we are at the foot of the cross. What happened to Christ when he was at his cross? Who was at the foot of the cross? How many of his people were at the foot of the cross? He would have thousands follow him around at the Sermon on the Mount, or at Luke, the Sermon on the Plain. Thousands listening to him. How many were with him at the foot of the cross at his death? Does anyone know? Exactly. I see a hand back there. It's 3. Mary, John, and the other Mary. For John, whom he called his beloved, he was loved to him. Mary, mother, and Mary Magdalene were there. Where was everybody else? Or somehow, somewhere else, and maybe the store buying something. Maybe they were looking for some banana bread or something. It was the history, I'm not sure. But they were not there. Why weren't they there? Fear. Would you ever jump off of a diving board into a pool with no water? We have an instinct inside that says that's a little too scary. That's a little too much pain. I don't want to endure that much pain. But fill it with water, we might consider it. One of the aspirations that I had in life is I always wanted to skydive. I just thought that would be fun. But in my imagination, you know what I didn't imagine? I didn't imagine terror. So when I got up there in the plane at 13,000 feet and looked out, it was time to jump, I didn't experience fun in my mind. I thought, this is terror. Why did I get in this plane and why did I get up here? And I remember they said, now when we count to 3, you just jump. But I had like a 220-pound man on my back. How do you jump with a 220-pound man on your back? And so the doors open and I'm yelling to him, how do I jump? And he said, just roll, just roll. I thought, roll, that means go upside down. What do I do? So I had to just roll. And we flipped and we flipped and we flipped. And I thought, they didn't tell me about flipping. And then I had to somehow spread my arms and fly like a bird. They said, you'll just fly like a bird. I didn't feel like a bird. I felt like a sinking lead ball. We're just falling. And they said, this is going to be the funnest 60 seconds of your life. And after about 10 seconds, I knew, I'm not having fun. This isn't fun. And they said, after you do it once, you're going to love to do it. You'll do it over and over and over again. And I knew after 60 seconds, this is my only time to do it. Once was enough. Because I didn't imagine the fear. I'm not sure that the apostles planned to not be with them, but they hit fear. And fear makes us do what? It makes us run so often. It makes us hide. And we get afraid of how low we feel. I want you to respect how low you feel. And when you're with someone who's feeling low, I want to cover some things that we'd never hear from the cross. We'd never hear with Jesus leaned into us. He'd never say this to us. So when we're feeling low, here's some things never to say to someone, and don't think them to yourself. Someone says, you know, I just feel like killing myself. We're going to do this one first. I just feel like killing myself. So you can't imagine, Jesus will not say these things, nor should we. Here's number 1. You ready? Someone says, I feel like killing myself. Here's what not to say. Am I clear? Are these to say or to not to say? To not to say. Good.
Suicide is like you don't tell them like how bad it is. You tell them why they shouldn't. Because if you tell them suicide's the worst thing you could ever possibly do, that would just scare them. That would scare them more. When somebody's suicidal, they don't actually want to die. They're just scared. They don't have anywhere to resort. They're just scared.
They feel like their cards are all played.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they just think that they think that they have to go to the last resort, which is killing themselves.
Right.
And if you tell them that killing themselves is the worst thing that they can do, they will want to do it
We just
even
made
more.
them feel worse, haven't we?
Yes, and they will want to do it even more
Right.
because they'll feel like that they help people.
So we don't want to say to them, that's the worst thing you could do. We don't want to shame them back. We also don't say to them, oh, no, you don't. I feel like killing myself. No, you don't. Yes, they do. Somehow they do. We don't say to them, how could you think of that? Your life isn't that bad. But these are things that people have told people that I know. Your life isn't that bad. Is there any help in that? Do you hear care in that? It might be a valiant effort, but will it be effective? No. Don't you know that I'd be devastated if you kill yourself? How could you think of hurting me like that? It might be true, but is that effective to say to a person? Most often, not.
It won't do anything.
Won't do anything. How about this one? Would Jesus say to this person, you know, that's the most selfish thing you could ever do in your life? You ever heard that talk? Suicide is the most selfish thing a person can do in their life? It's a popular thought, but that's not what it feels like to the person who is suicidal. It's that their cards are all played out.
And they feel like it's the only thing that they can do.
It feels like it's their last resort. So to them, it's not the most selfish thing that they can do. Suicide is a coward's way out. We just shamed them again. We don't say that. We say, you don't really want to die. You don't really mean that. We don't say to them, well, you know, things could be worse. There are other people who feel worse and they don't commit suicide. We don't do those negative shaming comparisons with them. We don't say suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. That's accurate. That is accurate. But it will not help them, will it?
It will make them like
It'll make them worse.
Even more because they feel like that will solve all their problems, even not one.
How about this one? Oh, you're just seeking attention. Okay, let's face it. If a person is saying this because they want to seek attention, that's a different problem, isn't it? That still is a problem. Yes?
But sometimes, even though you're trying to make them stop from doing suicide, sometimes it might not just work, and they just might want to just end their life there. Sometimes
Right.
comforting them and telling them why you shouldn't do that might not always help them.
It might not, but we need to know how to offer that to them, don't we? So here's one more thing that I have down here not to say. You know, if you commit suicide, you're going to go to hell. Ooh. Is that what he thinks? That isn't what he thinks. Is that what he would say to us? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Then you know what you are? Are you hearers of my word? Yes. So you are actually, listen to this Greek word. You're a katechumenoi. What word do you hear in katechumenoi? Katechumenoi? Human? Catechumen? So you are hearers of a word. So when we have a catechism, it teaches us about what the word is teaching us. So we're hearers of that word. So inside of our catechism, it teaches us about what the church teaches us, what Christ would teach us through the church about suicide. And one of the factors that I take a lot of hope in is that they know, the church knows, our church knows, that if there is suffering inside the person that they weren't able to manage, that God has a grace that will be more lenient on the soul of that person, and we're not to judge it. Isn't that doesn't give us permission, does it? That's not putting a blessing. It's helping us understand the grace of God. And what were some of the last words that he said about all the people's motives that were out here? He said, Father, forgive them for they don't know what they're doing. Did he mean that was just these people over here, but these people, everyone? They don't know what they're doing. Do we always know what we're doing every day? Have you ever had that thought that says, why did I just do that? What in the world? Why did I just say that? Did I do that? We've all had that thought. And that's not necessarily a sin, but Jesus said, Father, forgive them. They don't even know what they're doing. They don't even realize they're killing the heavenly Savior. They don't know that. We're going to step back down for the heat's sake. We're going to step back down.